Hey everyone, Tim with Collect Jurassic, and we're back again with another Jurassic World Dominion toy unboxing, all new figure for 2022. This is the Therizinosaurus. I've been really anxious to get my hands on this one. Probably one of my most anticipated figures, so awesome to have it on the review table today. Of course, we'll be unboxing it, checking out all the features, and doing comparisons as well. Just so stoked to start getting these new Dominion toys. Of course, if you joined us last time, we unboxed that Dominion T-Rex, the Thrash and Devour. Really cool. If you haven't checked out that video, check it out now. But today, it's all about the Slasher Dino, as Mattel refers to it, the Therizinosaurus, a new species for Jurassic World Dominion, and we're getting this fabulous, really nice toy. Can't wait to get it out. Before we do that, let's go ahead and take in the box. Of course, we have the massive Jurassic World Dominion logo, Sound Slashin Therizinosaurus product title. That's what this figure is officially called, the Sound Slashin Therizinosaurus. We also have some diagrams of how the figure itself works by manipulating the tail, the DNA tag, how the DNA tag works, all that good stuff. And then on the back, we have further diagrams of how the action features work with the button press and the kind of thrashing back and forth. And look, it even has the T-Rex down there to order as well. Right now I have these two figures, which is kind of a coincidence, but they're definitely some of the coolest Dominion figures that are on the way that I personally was looking forward to the most. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open up Therizino here and start doing some in-depth comparisons of what this figure looks like compared to some other figures in the line. Let's go ahead and see. Looks like we have some pegs in the feet, similar to the T-Rex. Some of these nicer, bigger figures have that versus whoa, this is really taped in here. Yeah, under here we have one peg. Looks like its foot is attached in one place. So let's see how fast I can do this. Oh no, it's more of this plastic stuff. Okay, hopefully that freed it out. One more snip and I think we're good. Okay, that should do it. So here comes Therizino out of the box. Go ahead and put the box aside. We'll go ahead and get T-Rex out of the frame too, so we can really appreciate this thing for what it is. There is the Therizinosaurus. Wow, this figure's awesome. The first thing I noticed is the articulation on the arms. That's what kind of struck me just looking at it in the box. We have these awesome shoulder joints. Oh, look, it's going to make some noise. Have these awesome shoulder joints. We have elbow joints, and we also have wrist joints. So you can do all kinds of different claw attacks. Reminds me of the superposable Indoraptor. That's how much articulation it has there. So you can do all kinds of stuff with that. I mean, really, you can go crazy. So really nice articulation there. Also some articulation around the head too. You can see the head is on a ball joint, so you can make it do all kinds of stuff. Can't look behind it, but it can look up and down and left and right. I believe the jaw, look at that face. Such a cool new kind of dinosaur design for Jurassic. The jaws are going to be manipulated by the action feature, which we'll get to. But for now, let's go ahead and pose these these arms back. I'm kind of in favor of this carrying the claws down with the elbows arched sort of pose. I think that looks the most like what we saw some of the renders of this. Looks like the legs have really nice articulation too. They're independently manipulated. Oh, and oh my gosh, there's knee joints too. So it can rotate on its knee. It can also go up and down, or front and back, however you want to call it. So there's also some knee articulation joints on this figure too, as well as the hip. So wow, that's really cool how much articulation there is on just this figure. I can do a quick running pose. See if I can get it to stand up. It's not quite balanced, but I'm sure if I sat here for a while, I could get it to do that pose, or put a claw on the ground to help it support it. Yeah. So look at that. What a cool pose you can do just with the articulation out of the box. Detail-wise, let's talk about the details on this figure. The action feature again. So Therizinosaurus, the film was obviously kind of covered in feathers, and so is the figure. If you look at this, there's textured feathering all throughout. It ends in some places, like here on the hip, it just kind of ends, and then there's like dino skin, traditional dino skin down to the feet. So not quite 100% feathered, but also love the tail, how it's got a bunch of feathers coming down the tail, kind of like a fan tail, like Articulation. Feathers go all the way up into the back, into the head, in the face, where we have those feathered jaws, and then we have the beak there as well. Paint wise, there's a lot to like here. The normal criticisms, the toenails would be cooler painted. The claws are technically painted. They did paint the nails for sure. There's no doubt about that. But the toenails aren't painted, unfortunately. But other than that, it's got a really beautiful paint job. It's got this marbling effect that a lot of the new 22 figures have, where you can kind of see some red mixed in with that blue color. Then it has the really vibrant red strip on top that goes all the way through the head. Also, gray underbelly with a white highlight stripe that looks really nice. Then the head itself's got the eye painted, nice and crisp on both sides. Other than that, no beak paint, unfortunately. It would be nice to get some beak paint, but honestly, if I didn't know better, that's just what I would figure this. That's what I would just assume this figure looks like. So definitely not 100% film accurate, but I'm also not missing it. So just can't get away with can't get over the articulation of this thing. It's just really, really nice, and it's a huge figure too. I don't know if my hands are doing it justice, but if I get it next to baby Brachiosaurus here, Tac Pack figure, look how big this thing is. This thing is definitely kind of its own size, even bigger than I have another figure here, Tyrannosaurus. We're doing all herbivore comparisons today, I guess. So you can see this thing is just massive, even compared to a Rortak figure. We'll have to see how it compares next to the T-Rex 2 here in a minute. But yeah, this thing is just huge. Really, really cool how big it is. Let's go ahead and try out some of these action features. We'll go ahead and get our normal victim. We're going to pick someone new today. We're going to pick this poor mercenary here. You can see another size comparison already, kind of how big Therizinosaurus is compared to a lowly human. And then I think the action features for this figure are literally just two things, and that is manipulating the tail and then pressing a button on the tail. Pressing a button on the tail does this nice... awesome. And then when you move the tail, does kind of like a thrash, sort of like the T-Rex, honestly. So this is where the articulation really comes in, because then you can do some really cool... That's cool. So yeah, this thing can really lives up to its name in that it's, making lots of sound, and obviously the slashing motion is really cool. The tail just kind of moves it back and forth. You can see it just kind of moves every joint in the chest and neck. It does move up and down a little bit, but that's more the button that does that part. But really cool action you can do. So I'm anxious to see how this dinosaur actually kind of performs in the movie, to see kind of how it actually does attack. If it just kind of flails around and slashes everything, or if it's a little more strategic in how it attacks. But the toy is definitely cool. For a toy, that's a lot of fun. I love the mouth too with the teeth. It's a really nice classic Jurassic paint job on this head. A species that we've never had for Kenner or Hasbro or now Mattel. So now we finally have, the first Therizinosaurus. And it's a really, really fun design. Really cool design. And again, a big figure. I can stick it here next to the T-Rex to get an idea of how big it is, even compared to the Dominion Rex. Again, this is the new Thrash and Devour T-Rex. It has much of the same action features, a roar and a kind of swipe back and forth. So So really the same exact action features if you think about it. And you can see that the Therizinosaurus is quite comparable in size to the T-Rex. And that's pretty impressive considering that I think the price is at least $10 or $15 cheaper, but it's definitely at least 2/3 of the size of the T-Rex. Ooh, who did I just knock over? Somebody just fell over. But you, when it's basically 2/3 of the size of the T-Rex, it's pretty impressive that what you're getting for the price here. So, oh man, I just love this paint job though. This is just a really nice looking figure. Really, really nice. Yeah. Again, the articulation is probably what's doing it for me. This figure actually reminds me a lot of the Control and Conquer Carnotaurus as far as like feature set and price range and size. I mean, these figures are probably more alike than any other figure I can think of in terms of what you're getting for, you know, the price and everything. This is Control and Conquer Toro from Camp Cretaceous, and you can see, you know, size wise how the Therizinosaurus is very, very close to it in terms of size. And again, it's got the same sort of electronic and action features and all that stuff. But man, I just love this thing. I love how you can move the head like that too. Again, the articulation, the kind of stuff that we're going to be able to do with this guy. The neck, you know, you're going to have trouble posing the neck in a different position, but at least you can pose the head. If toy photographers have tricks for getting the mouth to stay open too. I almost forgot the DNA tag, didn't I? DNA tag, of course, is that little guy in the back of the figure. All the figures have it in their back plate, and there's a little place for your nail. Pull it out, and there's the scan tag. Of course, you can't scan it right now. The app hasn't updated as of publishing this video. On the other side, it's got a little classic Jurassic mark back there too. Then when you're done with it, you just push it back into the figure, and it hides back there really well. Not a button, but it does kind of look like a button when you look at it from the top. But it still hides pretty well. Man, if you want to go out and take some awesome photos of this thing, you know, attacking and doing all kinds of stuff. Similar to the T-Rex, kids are definitely going to have a ton of fun with Therizinosaurus here. There's just a lot of cool stuff going on in terms of action features. And of course, it's a new species from Dominion, which is always exciting stuff. You know, when we get a film species, which is why I think this figure's design is so awesome. I mean, some of the you know, random dinosaurs we get from Mattel almost look cartoony, but this thing looks beautiful, and I can't wait to see it in the movie and do comparisons to that. Obviously, we get a peek of it in the Dominion trailer, and I can only kind of compare it to that. It looks similar enough, but we haven't really got a full-on view of the dinosaur yet, officially anyway. But if the toy's any indication, it's going to be a really fun addition to the kind of Jurassic roster we already have, because not only is it massive, but it's got some, you know, unique features like these massive claws, all those feathers, you know, all that stuff makes it kind of its own thing when you compare it to T-Rex and Velociraptor and all that. So that's probably why I was so anxious to get this toy too, just because it's so unique compared to all the you know, Mattel dinosaurs out there. This one's definitely kind of stands on its own. There's nothing too similar to it that we've gotten already. And you know, the articulation and all that stuff just makes it that much more of a must-have. So Therizinosaurus, Slashin Therizinosaurus from Mattel. It should be out everywhere in April. This is one of the main figures they're pushing for the new movie, so this one should be pretty easy to find once it officially does come out. This one I got from Amazon in France. They had them in stock. I know a lot of people will ask where it's from. That's where I got it from. It's a little pricey, but wanted to get it here early so I could obviously do this review for everybody. So I think that's all I got. I hope you enjoyed this advanced look at the Slashin Therizinosaurus. I know I'm super excited about this figure. But again, I think that's all I got for now. So I'm Tim Collect Jurassic. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.